Look, we made it to the place after a decent while of standing in front of it because of several things there. Wait, would it be this? Or would it be this? Wait. I thought laboratory, like Pokemon professor, but... Damn it, I thought the director's office would be at the top by default. Oh, it goes that direction. I thought it, whatever. Is Prime 4 Switch 2 exclusive? Because if not, I've got no reason to want to Switch 2 right now. It's not Switch 2 exclusive. It's going to be on Switch 1 and Switch 2. It's just that with the Switch 2 version, it's like... I think it's 2160p at 60 FPS, or no, it's 2160p at 120 FPS, or 4K at 60 FPS, is what it is, with the Switch 2 version, which, you know, seeing stuff like that on a Nintendo console nowadays makes me go like, whoa, okay, interesting. I don't play many games at something like 4K. I don't even know if this monitor supports that, but like, you know, that is cool. It tells me they optimized Prime 4 well to use the hardware on the Switch 2. But, you know, if it's running that well on Switch 2, it'll probably run just fine on Switch 1. I'm sure it was made for that first and foremost, so, you know, I'm sure it'll be a completely fine experience on Switch 1 as well. Unlike something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where you play it on Switch 1 and it's like, God, this is unplayable. You play it on Switch 2, it's like, oh, it actually works, you know? And to anyone who says you can't do normal things on Linux, I've been streaming old Windows games, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 and Warcraft 3, as well as Minecraft. Imagine calling that an old Windows game. No, old Windows games as well as Minecraft, I see. All of my streams have been done on Linux since OBS has a native Linux version. Even my Elgato capture card works on Linux. Elgato's software doesn't, but it shows up as a display on OBS. Yeah, that's all you really need to then. I only boot up the Elgato software when I need to make sure that things are working. That rat! That vile little man. I can't believe that mayor. It's not my fault we keep getting more wild zones. It's not even like I can't tell him off. Not when he knows I'm basically at his mercy. That doesn't mean I should get worked into the ground. I'm acting director of this place. Crazy. I can speak without hearing a whole bunch of other voices. All of a sudden, it's great. Are you making progress on my research task? I don't know. I don't really check them. I want to know about Grisham. Whoa, there's only one choice to do one thing this time instead of two choices to do one thing. Grisham? Who could that be? Someone who is in Team Flare. Team Flare? Seems you already know more about Gris than I would have thought. Fine. So I used to be a part of Team Flare. Wait, seriously? I don't really mind telling people if they're merely curious. But there are still people today who react badly if they even hear the words Team Flare, you know? So I don't exactly walk around advertising it, but I won't lie about it if I'm asked either. When everything fell apart, I got taken into custody along with the others. But I took a plea deal. So I got made acting director of this lab. Easy to keep tabs on me if I'm always stuck here, right? My role in Team Flare also had me looking into Pokemon energy and all, so I don't hate the work. Sorry. Didn't mean for the sob story to spell out. That's how it goes in Pokemon games. You want to know about Grisham, huh? He was part of the younger generation in Team Flare. Everyone called him Gris. It means gray, like the color of ashes. He was pretty strong when it came to Pokemon battles. Super serious hardcore line. It means gray, like ashes. He was pretty strong when it came to Pokemon battles. Not that he got much chance to show off that skill at the time. I honestly don't know what he might be thinking now, joining the ZA Royale. Thank you, Mabel, for mansplaining the color gray to me. But if you really got to know, you might want to try Novio Cafe over in Centrico Plaza. The coffee truck? Why? You'll find out when you go, won't you? Sheesh, kid, don't take all the mystery and fun out of life. You're about to walk into a pretty sticky situation, but I'll be there to help you when the time comes. And don't forget, I still want you to keep up the research work too. Okay. I basically cut off new Nintendo at this point. I have 2 Nintendo Switches, only one I bought new. I'll continue to pay for online because I cover our family plan and do like some Splatoon, but aside from that, they get nothing from me. Yeah, I can't blame you. I really can't. I mean, I think all three of the really big players in gaming are kind of in places where people aren't super fond of them right now. Like Nintendo, there's well, we know what's going on with Nintendo with the craziness there. Sony is like, oh, what the hell is the? Oh, it's a line that is going right across the second window from the bottom. But as I move my camera, the line moves across the building there. You know, if you're going to have issues like that on something like PC, where everyone's hardware is a little bit different, whatever. If it's on a console, it was designed specifically for, especially when it was designed for two consoles, and this is the better one of the two. And we're having things like that. Ooh, spooky line. What the hell was I even saying? Like, okay. Everything with Nintendo. Modern Pokemon, for one. There's the prices. Again, I made a video essay on it to the point where it's like, you know, I get it when it comes to, like, new games. It's, you know, whatever there. For old games, $100 for Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Increasing the prices in Canada of previous Switch games. So in 2017, Breath of the Wild on Switch 1 cost $80. The game is 8 years old now. I think it's coming up on 9 years old. So you'd think the game would be cheaper now. It's $85 in Canada. The game costs more now on Switch 1 than it did over 8 years ago. What? So, you know, definitely still some things to criticize about the prices, even with my one video essay that I made there. Like, there's definitely lots of stuff there. There's the whole, we don't like what's going on with your account, your username, your profile picture, whatever. I don't know if there's anything about profile pictures, but like usernames and stuff like that. We're just gonna brick your console. We have full say over what you get to play on it. Like, what you get to do with it. It belongs to us. You just essentially get to use it after purchasing it. But only as long as we're okay with you using it. You know, you don't truly own it. And that's always been, like, kind of the case with Nintendo consoles, but now it really is. Now they're really exercising their right, being like, oh, we don't like you. Yeah, well, goodbye to your console there, I guess. You know, it's, there's a decent little smidge of stuff with Nintendo. Their whole classic game thing going on, where it's like, yep, we're either never going to release these games, release them as overpriced, full-priced ports that are in HD, essentially, or it's exclusively going to be through our subscription model, and there's no other way to play these games. Lots and lots of things there. The fact that they kind of hate people doing tournaments, that's been a thing for a long time there. You modify our software, time to bring down the hammer. Lots and lots of freaking stuff there. Sony people are kind of ticked off at the high price of the PS5 Pro, while it's, you know, next to no improvement, it seems like, from what I've heard. And do you even really need a PS5 Pro when the PS5 itself probably isn't really being pushed to its limit all that much, considering still, to this day, we are still getting more PS4 games coming out. Games are coming out simultaneously on PS4 and PS5 to this day, when the PS4 came out in what, like 2013, 2014, something like that? Games are still coming out for it and the PS5 because there was a lot of PS4 sold, so of course they want to tap into that market. But it does make you question, is the PS5 even really being pushed to its limit all that much if they're continuing to make games for the PS4 as well? So what the heck is the point of the PS5 Pro? And comparison videos make it seem like it's the same thing, and, you know, people are ticked off at the price of that. The fact that, you know, it's like, maybe every other year Sony will release a new big game, and then every gap in between is gonna be a remaster of a game that just came out like a few years ago or something like that. Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. You know, all sorts of stuff there. The Last of Us Part 1, after there was The Last of Us remastered not too long ago. All sorts of stuff, just re-releasing the same games there. You know, so a lot of people are kind of ticked off at that, and them wanting... I think a lot of people would be happier if Sony made more AA games. Like, people loved Astrobot. I think people would be thrilled if they were making games with, like, similar budget and style to Astrobot. Maybe with some of their, like, old IPs that they refuse to touch. You know? That would make people pretty happy. And then with Xbox, Xbox seems like they're just content now to just like be a platform for selling games, and they don't seem too interested in they don't really seem that interested in making games anymore. It really seems like it's kind of the impression that I get. That's who needs game development studios when we can just not, I guess, is kind of what's going on there. And it really makes you question, like, what's even the point of buying an Xbox? Like, genuinely, I don't understand what the point is there. There's a pretty limited point to buy a PS5 nowadays, too, realistically. If you have a little bit of patience and don't need to play things right when they're out, you just wait for them to come to PC anyway, is the way that it's all going nowadays. Like, that's how it's going there. And then meanwhile, there's Steam, where, there's some things I'll criticize about Steam. Like, I do feel like 30% is a decent bit of a big cut to be taking. I feel like it would be really good if, like, hey, whatever, take 30% from, like, the super massive studios. But, like, indie developers, something like that, say that, like, the first, I don't know, 50,000 or something, that's the number I'm spitballing, units that you sell, we only take, like, X%, like 10% or something like that. And then everything over that, maybe we take 30%. And then that way, a much bigger cut for, like, indie developers or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how much their platform running costs are. But, outside of, like, the cut there, Steam is kind of the platform where everyone is just like, hey, they're actually doing things that people want, actually just making, like, a good platform. And, you have an issue on Steam, like your account got hacked, you report that in, they're freaking on it. They are quite well known for being on that, as opposed to other companies that are just like, whatever. Like, they actually do look out for their consumers, so people actually really quite like Steam. And now with Steam seeming like it's getting ready to enter the console market with the Steam machine, if it is actually a semi-affordable, small, like, decently powerful gaming PC, it could absolutely clean up. Like, a new console that you don't have to worry about games being available on, because it's got probably the biggest game library out there already available on it. You don't have to pay for online. You've, probably got a lot of games that can carry over to this console if you've already got a bunch of stuff on Steam. And one of my favorite things about it, from what I can tell about, like, the Steam machine, is in the advertisement, it looks like it by default runs Steam OS, but the advertisement made it seem like you can put whatever OS on there, like you can just load Windows and use it as like a regular PC as well. So a company that's making a console that is just straight up like, yeah, it's your machine, do whatever you want with it, it's yours. Like, as opposed to these other companies that are like, you can only use it in the exact ways that we specify in this extremely rigid way, especially Nintendo. So Steam with the Steam machine being like, yeah, it's your computer, like, do whatever the hell you want with it. It's yours. Like, I think a lot of people are gonna look at that and be like, wow, that's great, And, like, even if you don't have a Steam machine, you're just playing PC games, you're probably already giving Steam a lot of money there. So, them kind of really trying to step into the console market, per se, get more into, like, gaming on your TV by having, like, a small console that you can actually plug in. If it's not breaking the bank to buy a Steam machine when they announce the price, there's a good chance that, like, Steam and Valve here might actually do some serious work. And especially right now, when everyone's kind of hating Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, this is, like, the perfect time for the company that everyone actually likes to actually be like, hey, we're putting out something that people actually like, Like, outside of potential price, what else would there really be to complain about with the hardware there? Like, we'll have to see what the price is like. But if the price isn't high enough that people are going to complain, then, like, they've got an easy dub there. I've never invested in stocks before, but this might be a fantastic time to invest in Valve stock. That's what it might honestly be. But yeah, let's see here. Steam is beyond clean. There's a sole reason why Linux gaming is possible. What with, like, Linux support with Steam there? Not even joking, the Proton translation layer is entirely developed by Valve. Steam automatically runs Proton when you download a game on Steam. 9 out of 10 games on Steam are at least playable on Linux because of Valve. Jeez. Yeah, I didn't know about that. The only thing I can think that I can knock out Valve on is Gabe Newell spending 500 million on a super yacht instead of helping people of the world. But if his company is going to give us great products and a path for gaming to exist outside of Windows and not price gouge and treat us like shit, then I can overlook that. I thought I heard that something like that come up where it's like, oh, but Gabe has like a super yacht. And then I thought I saw some sort of reply that was like, it's a big server farm or something like that. Like, it's not necessarily purely recreational. Apparently, it's like some big server thing. I never looked into it. I just saw like the, generally what people were saying. So don't quote me on it, but, I'll look into it properly one day if I actually care. But yeah, Xbox Microsoft gang worse, so I've heard there. Hopefully Steam will stay clean after Gabe Newell. If/when Steam ever goes public on the stock market, we're fucked. Oh, okay, so I wouldn't even be able to buy stock anyway. You know what? I don't care about that. He can have his yacht. I enjoy Astrobot a lot. It really honors a lot of PlayStation characters, so I've heard. The target has been neutralized. He'll never see his family again. Enjoy your account. Yeah, so it goes with Steam. Fun fact, SteamOS is Linux. It's a fork of the Arch Linux distro. Huh, interesting. Steam might be saving the game industry. We'll see. Like, it's gonna be an interesting next half-decade, I feel like, in gaming history. With, with all these big players of Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and Steam that was already a big name, but now it seems like is really gonna step into like, hey, we're a big player here, Harmonia, Valve is not on the stock market. Dang. They're not required to obey the orders of shareholders. That's why they're able to be as cool as they are. Their shareholders aren't begging for short-term stock increases. Okay. Yeah, well, that's definitely, interesting is a word for it. Yeah, isn't it? How's it go on, Redora Master? But yeah, true. Good trade-off for the fact that I wouldn't be able to invest there. The fact that, they're not having to meet the demands of shareholders then. 'Tis a good point. Bye. Your hair looks like one of those, I forget what flavor it'd be, but some kind of frozen yogurt kind of thing. The only good thing we've got to offer is our location. You here for another nasty drink? What have you got? Ketchup here? If you'd like to order something, please speak to the young lady there. What? You're the one behind the... Whatever, man. I'd like to order a meeting with Grisham. Got a pair of glasses today? It's weird looking through that. Oh, nice. That's how I felt with my glasses there. Mine are literally just for distance, so, I'm streaming here. I usually don't wear them. I'm training in Taekwondo or something. I don't wear them. At work, sometimes I wear them. I used to wear them during university just to actually see what was being written on the board or the projector across the room. So, it took me a decent bit of getting used to, because I spent most of my life without glasses. I still spend most of my life without glasses, so it is a weird feeling getting used to glasses. But nowadays, sometimes I have them on and don't even realize, like, now that it's felt natural enough. But definitely takes some time of getting used to, no doubt. Well, isn't this entertaining? It looks like you've managed to find your next opponent. The quiet master of Centrico Plaza's famed Novo Cafe truck is indeed just a front. The truth is, I'm one of the top-ranked trainers in the ZA Royale, the foremost trainer in rank B, and the boss of Team Flare Novio. However the heck you pronounce it. Yes, you found me. Grisham, at your service. I've got my own goals to achieve. Goals that have brought me to the ZA Royale. Which is why I cannot let you defeat me. Shouldn't you say that's why I must defeat you? Like him defeat me so that he can reach rank A? Because wouldn't it be his promotion match too? And then he can get his wish? I suppose this still makes little sense to you, however. Shall I explain the whole thing? Grisham, you know this kid is with AZ. There's no point even trying to explain it all to someone on AZ's side. This is Grisel, one of my comrades in Team Flare Novio. I'm so butchering that. Let's just take this kid down, right here, right now, while we've got the chance. Grisel, please do calm yourself. Novio Cafe is here to offer comfort to the masses. It's no place to start a commotion. What? Fine, I sent you a location. If you care at all about knowing the truth, go there and wait. We'll close up shop, then head over. If you'd be so kind, please check your map and find your own way. We'll meet you there. No one can ever show you the way in a Pokemon game. Alright, fast travel here, I guess. So I may as well do. I need to go this way. Should I keep it night? It might be kind of dark, mysterious. Late at night, meeting in a spooky location might be fitting. So sure, I'll keep it night. Look at you, waiting like a good little boy. I don't know how I feel about you saying that. I imagine you must be asking yourself why we would want to meet at such a spot. This is Lysander. Oh, this is Lysander Cafe. That was Grisham speaking. I don't know if the game seems like it got quieter during these segments. The background soundtrack's a little bit quieter. I'll turn up just a little smidge here. This is Lysander Cafe. It was a very important place for anyone in Team Flare, though now it is an empty storefront. No one has any desire to rent a location so closely associated with such a disreputable group. That means the rent's gotta be cheap then, right? And since no one wants it, we've taken the liberty of continuing to use it as a base for Team Flare. Like, are you a tenant? Are you paying rent? Is this legal? More rightly, for Team Flare and Novi. Like I was mentioning earlier about how I work for a real estate company. I've got these things on the mind when you mention this. You know about Team Flare, don't you? Not really. You don't even know? Of course you don't. How could someone like you ever understand? Grissel. Grisham, this kid is our enemy. He's nothing but an obstacle to all the goals we hope to achieve for Team Flare Novio. There's no point in trying to explain everything to someone like this. Let's just get rid of him. The world has not been kind or forgiving toward those of us who are a part of Team Flare. I mean... you can't help but wonder why. I'm afraid it's all too understandable. Sad though it is, that some harden their hearts in response, like Grissel here has done. I mean, if you were kind of part of a terrorist organization, are you really that surprised? My apologies. I'm afraid there's simply no stopping Grissel when she's set on a course of action. Though it will mean revealing your battle tactics to me before our promotion match, I must ask, please, won't you grant Grissel the battle she desires? No. No. Did you see that? Yeah, I did. The CEO of Epic Games said that Steam having a mandatory made with AI tag on games with AI assets in them was stupid because AI is the future type shit. And a Valve developer said the only ones I presume afraid of this are the ones that know their product is low effort in response. Plus one respect for Valve. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, people in between only and afraid there. No worries. I don't know what kind of Pokemon you're going to use. Let's just start with Floridator. Fight me. I will and I'll win. Everyone always wants to fight me, man. Sure seems like if you can stand up to a Florida man, I'm going to burn you to the ground. Won't be enough of you left to fight in the ZA Royale. Realistically, in one of these types of situations in a Pokemon world, what happens if you win? I just go to the Pokemon Center, heal up my Pokemon, I just come back and bug you guys again. They were challenged by Grissel of Team Flare. Novio, however the heck you pronounce that. Oh, I have a pretty good lead then. Alma would have been a pretty good lead. I guess we have a Team Flare remix now. Boop. I should have led with Hydro Pump. Flarg. Really? You just lived? Oh, that's how U-turn works in this game. Interesting. Okay. Aerodactyl. Well, same Pokemon then, I guess. Flarg. Quickly now. Nom, 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 nom. Switch Pokemon really quickly, because you're getting a little low. Is it like Nouveau? Don't quote me that, I'm not French. Alright, I'm quoting Sate and saying that that's how it's gonna be pronounced from here on. Whoops. I meant to do this, actually. Time to die. My earthquake was bitter. Metagross. I was able to use an earthquake on Electros. Do you not have... Oh my god, yeah, you don't have Levitate either. Wait. He's just frozen like that. Okay. Oh shit. I've got to win this battle. I can't let anyone stand in our way. Is this already your final Pokemon? Isn't Pyroar the Mega Evolution where its mane just gets taller? And if you Mega Evolve a female Pyroar, it just looks like the male version with a taller mane? It's got a taller mane! Wow. I don't know, man. Oh, crap. I don't know who to be using here. Here, I don't need a heal. Oh, and I forgot to buy Healy items again. I'm realizing. Oh my god! Holy shit! That was definitely not who to switch to. Oh my god. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Stone Edge. Boop. Come on. Don't kill me. Oh, you killed me. If you kill me while I've got an input going into the side, it just keeps me going like I've got Joy-Con drift or something like that there. Wow, you didn't start with a fire type move. What a world we live in. I'll revive one of my Pokemon in a sec here, maybe. Crack that option! Crack that option! Give me Gator! Quickly now. Boop! Hell yeah. That option always works. But I had sent me some models he would like to see printed, and one of them was an AI-generated image of a ball ornament. Like, it wasn't an actual round ornament. It was a flat print that was an AI-generated image of a ball Christmas tree ornament. Don't even think he realized it was. I basically told him no. Yeah, if you want to print anything, it's gotta be an actual 3D model there. Want me to send you some dragon models at some point here? Let's see here. I'm Haitian. I do have a little French DNA in me. We all got a little colonizer in us. That sounds like it would make a fantastic children's song. This is ridiculous. So, I lost. My Pokemon lost. That was well fought. I expected nothing less from Team MZ's new ace, the one who seeks to save Lumio City. I'd say it's time for a little coffee break. Voila! One Ember Roast, our signature drink at the Nouveau Cafe. Yeah, I'll just say it like that. It's probably something like that. She sure changed her tone fast. That should have perked up the Pokemon who battled for us as well. Now that we're all feeling refreshed, allow me to teach you about the true history of Team Flare and what it is we hope to accomplish. Please join us inside. I took a DNA test. I have Irish, British, French, Hispanic DNA. That sounds cool. Oop. Let's go get Healy items before I forget, because I will forget otherwise. Alright, let's see here. Hi, how's it going? Most of my family is German. Very strong German background. I have a little bit of Romanian and a little bit of Scottish. Come back and see us again whenever you need. Like, I haven't taken a DNA test. I'm just saying, like, in terms of where I know, like, grandparents / great-grandparents have come from. In my context. Oop. Never really understood those DNA tests. Like, you're giving a random corporation your DNA on top of that. What the fuck is French DNA? Something you don't want to be cursed with. That's the kind of shit that the alt-right in the US thinks that vaccines inject you with. French DNA. What makes that particular style of French? Is there a baguette lodged in it? Sorry, but, like, I don't get it at all. I assume just, like, you know, patterns that are more closely associated with things that they've historically noticed in those regions. If I had to guess, I don't know. Let's go in.